Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the Gnome Train.
Woo! Chugga, 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 woo!
Woo! Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
I'm Frazley, and I am joined by Ali of Dungeon Fables.
Hello!
RetPallyJil.
Hey!
And the Scruffy Druid of Loot Optional.
Rawr. What's up? Hi. I'm Scruffy Druid. I have con crud.
You gotta work on your R a little bit. I'll work with you on that.
Rawr! Yeah, gotta get ferocious. There you go.
I'll get it eventually.
This helps. The hand motion helps.
Like every picture with Frosty in them, they've all got like this going on. I don't even know why, but it's like.
Oh,
like
on
law.
Saturday night, Scruffy, you like did like the Vulpira animation. I mean, like with those ears.
I don't have a tail. I am not a Vulpira, which breaks my heart.
You are a Worgen who has the heart of a Vulpira.
Sure.
Be careful, I'm gonna have your heart too. Rip it out. Watch it, gnome.
Now we're getting ferocious.
If I show you my war face, I'll break my microphone and everybody will hate me.
And we want to hear you. So on this episode, we will be a bit more freeform and kind of go with the flow. And no, that's not from the stuff that you can readily purchase in Anaheim. I was waiting for my shuttle and I actually saw where you could buy stuff. But we are going to talk about our BlizzCon experience as two of us are BlizzCon newbies.
Yes.
As well as talk about some of our favorite things from BlizzCon.
BlizzCon.
Woohoo!
Wee.
Every time we were driving up from the airport, I'd see a sign like Edinger Avenue, and I'd be like, woohoo, BlizzCon! And my friend's like, shut up.
So, Ali.
So Frazley.
How was your first BlizzCon?
You know, sometimes I feel like I lack the vocabulary to really describe it. So we're going to go with effing magical.
Woo!
It was just more than I ever could have hoped for. And I went in expecting, obviously, I knew I'd get to meet you, and I was hoping to meet Scruffy and hoping to meet Jill, but I missed her. And, I had a list of people in my mind who I knew I was friends with already, and I would meet them. And not only did I meet them, but I met so many more people, and people who actually, knew me and care. And even when I wasn't meeting people, and just people watching and just taking it all in, just watching how much everyone cared for each other. That first time greeting with a big hug and just all of that just excitement and energy and care. And it was just so special to be surrounded by our people, and it's just, it was so good.
I like what you said about because there were plenty of people there that I did not know, but I watched how they were with their friends.
Yeah.
And I come for the storm. I was loving at the meet and greet. I loved seeing the different people meeting different people. It was so cool to see someone go to their favorite creator and be like, "Oh, I love you," and I mean just and give them hugs. And thank you everybody that showed up at my meet and greet.
Yeah, amazing.
And Talius and Evitel, I loved how the community supported them and came out in droves. Was that? I think I heard 4 hours that they were at the meet and greet. I wanted to meet them, but I did not want to get time away from somebody else, and I had a lot to go through, so I was not able to meet them. And then on Twitter, they said, hey, they wanted to meet me. I was like, oh, phooey, I missed.
Well, and that's one of the things. It was really tricky because I had so many people that not only did I want to meet, but people I wanted to actually spend time with, legitimately spend time with them. And one of the tricky things for me was trying to balance everyone. There were still some people that I did not spend as much time as I would have liked, and others that I never even saw. So it's just a lot of people to see and a lot of things to do in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I was talking with Talib, and Talib said it's sad that was only 2 days. And I said to Talib, the only thing I would say on that is my dad has a playground supervisor who would always say you want to leave recess when you're still having fun. And I think 2 days plus whatever you do before and after, you still have fun. It doesn't take away too much from your life. Doesn't make stress in your life.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have an extra day, but then you would feel it the third day. Oh, I'm ready to go home.
That's true. No one wants to stay at the party too long.
Yeah. don't want to get drunk and stuff like that.
We won't talk about that on
Well,
the
tell
show.
him, Droid. Tell him, Droid. You go to BlizzCon anyway, and I'm a pretty awkward hugger too. I just pretty much stand there and let other people hug me, and I go, "Oh, hey," and I hug back as best I can, but I don't initiate hugs, mainly because, honestly, my boobs are too big. No
I get it.
Did
I
you
probably
see
initiated
mine?
hugs more often than I should. Yeah.
I mean, they get there before I do, and if you like hug a guy, that can give entirely the wrong message.
I don't have a problem.
At Calm Before the Storm, I was wearing that hug dealer shirt, and when I was looking in the mirror, I was like, "Oh man, I probably should have gone with something else because they're so big. It just looked like huge dealer." I was like, "Oh, shame."
Bum.
I think the most awkward hug, but best hug I had was from Perfect Nomad, and I did not get a picture with him, and I'm angry about it. First off, I was super nervous to meet him for some reason. I don't know why. He's my co-host on BlizzMates, and he's a friend. Like, we've really gotten to know each other, and for some reason, I'm still nervous to see him. And finally, Mr. Ali convinced me to go see him, and so he did. Started walking towards him and called his name. He ran halfway across the room to come pick me up and give me a hug.
Aw.
And he was picking me up like off the ground, and I am not a lightweight. I am not skinny. And so like at first I was like awkward. So I'm like, I'm too heavy. No, like I don't want you to know how heavy I am. And I'm like, whatever. And eventually he ended up I gave in. He just like picked me up off the ground. And it was like the most awkward, but the most awesome hug ever. It was amazing.
Yeah, his hug I remember so much because I'm the tallest gnome in Azeroth.
You really, dude. Like I am 5'10", so I'm decently tall. And you were like way up there.
And like he lifted me up, and I'm like, my feet are literally like in the air. You know, I kept thinking, I hope he doesn't text me the next day saying, "Hey, you broke my back."
I'm just picturing Fraz and Nomad having like a Titanic moment. I'm the king of the world.
Oh my gosh, can we recreate that next year?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Nomad, if you're listening, we've got to do it. And if not, anybody out there, I'll forget. Let me know. We got to
Talk to
I'll
Lance.
remember.
You and Lance can do it.
Oh, yes. And speaking of Lance is amazing. I had some really good
Oh my gosh,
conversation
he's
with
so
Lance.
great.
And he gives great hugs. And I love his love for the community.
He is passionate.
Yeah.
I said we were staying in the Hilton lobby, so it's kind of close and talking loudly, but it was a good solid 15-minute conversation, and to hear his passion for the community and how genuine it is, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
And that's one thing that's right, because people did talk about how like people who work at Blizzard, it is a job when they're there, and it is, but you have to be on. But at the same time, they love talking to people. Like I was walking down somewhere and Taryn yells out Frazley. And it was like, yeah, it was so cool. I went over to him and I didn't want to talk about story too much because it's what he talked about with
He
everybody.
probably appreciated that.
I just said, I love what you've done. And I told everybody, they were like, you did an amazing job. But it was so cool to be like, he's just sitting there chilling. Like, I mean, he was just having a break on his phone and he called me out. I was like, oh.
That's so awesome.
Isn't that?
Yay.
He's one of the people I did not get a chance to meet, and I'm disappointed.
Oh, next year. Because he is so cool. I had it where Scruffy, I was able to get Scruffy to talk with Taryn. What's cool is he talked about like his experience with the voice actors and stuff like that, and his what he loved with the voice actor panel. So
Yeah.
I think one thing I got to say is the Blizzard employees there says as long as you're nice to them, they are so nice. I mean, I if you're rude to them and all that, then yeah,
You're done forever.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no one got time for that.
Hey, that's
It's
the
like
really cool thing about
they've got their own
BlizzCon.
internal like psychic telegraph, radar love. They just put out the scent and you're marked for life.
Like
I believe it.
you don't have to agree with them, but just be a human being to them, because like they're at the end of the day, they're people too. And I have a new phrase for Blizzard. Blizzard is a company. Blizzard makes games, but ever since a bonus level on Epic Fail podcast talk about how Blizzard is this community, I saw it. I now count the community in that this is Blizzard. What we're doing tonight, we are part of Blizzard tonight. And I mean, I told somebody, it is like a secular religion, and it's true. We're there, we're having fellowship, and we're communing with people, and we're having a good time. I'm like, there's very few things I've ever seen like it.
When we were walking back from dinner on Saturday night, Mr. Scruffy was like, so I have to know, is this something that like happens at all cons, or is this just a BlizzCon thing where the developers and the CEOs and everybody that's part of Blizzard is just a part of the community and we're all just kind of one? Like we're all geeking out together. We're all it's, I mean, here they've given us this, but they're also genuinely geeking out about this and our reactions and just excited to see how we take things. And we're excited to see them excited. So it's just kind of like back and forth. And, you know, BlizzCon's the only one that I've ever gone to. I mean,
I haven't seen another one. And I've been going to conventions since I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, from everything that I've heard is this is the only place that's like that. And I think that's what makes BlizzCon so special is that you have that fellowship with the developers, which, I mean, it's also kind of why it's so heartbreaking whenever we see them come under fire. So, because they're just, everybody is so passionate about what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people. Well, what's BlizzCon like? BlizzCon is if Tony Stark threw a gaming convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it totally is. I can see that.
Like, woo, there's music, there's bands, there's 3 bands. We need demo computers. Put 1,000 brand new ones out there. All right, let's go. Neon, we got it. 40-foot high screens, no problem. The only thing we don't have is like the bikini booth babes. And if they thought they could get away with it, we'd have those too.
We don't need those.
No, I want big studly Arthas bodybuilder guys, man.
Okay, hey, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with as long as we don't do the booth babes, but we do like the booth guys and like the booth Arth. And even the undead, booth undead. I have like the
there you go, something for everybody. They
exactly.
Should have, you know, like Elvira with like Forsaken Maker or something. That'd be great.
Well, we had Lilith walking around, so
they should have like a pop culture draft. And like, okay, next up, Elvira, Mistress of Dark. Is she going to the humans or is she going to the Forsaken? And it's just random people just like voting. Good God. This is my 4th BlizzCon. And it's the most online people that I know that I've met. Last year was awful. I couldn't find anybody. I'd go on Twitter. Is anybody here? Nothing. Anybody here? I was there like 20 minutes ago. Damn it. But no, this was a much more successful year for meeting people. I had a great time.
That's one thing that I tried to do this year. I tried to be available to people, and like I tried to like always check my phone to be like, who's there, who's in the area. And I think I tackled my FOMO this year, my fear of missing out. That I was like, okay, if I see opportunity, I'm just going to take it. And like one time they were like, we're going here. Like, I'm glad that I took the opportunity with you to go to the food truck, the Viking truck, and then go to the What's Next panel.
Plus, it was delicious, so...
Yes.
The only one I can eat from is Burger Monster. I can have their...
We were going to go there on day 2, but then my husband and I decided we didn't want to deal with the crush of people around it. So
yeah, I didn't have an option. It was either that or like the Patty Hearst burgers they were selling inside. But they were almost, $15 for a hamburger. It was the 2 times I got it, they were cold. Yeah. So I gave up on them.
They were not that great. Yeah.
Someone said that they paid $70 for 2 burgers at one of the hotels.
I believe it. I was looking at my receipts. Most of the charges I had, the most expensive were food. Yeah. And that's just crazy. Yeah, I call them the Patty Hearst burgers because the cows come from like the Hearst family herds or something like that. They're all organic, and they're hamburger patties, so they're Patty Hearst burgers.
I think that's what we had.
The one on the MDI stage that there was the little.
We got them at the Hearthstone, next to the Hearthstone stage, but that could have been the same.
Okay, yeah,
that would be the one.
So Scruffy,
yes,
we talked about Terran earlier.
Yes.
Well, before you came out to meet Terran, I think something happened because all of a sudden, like, you're following me to go out and meet Frosty.
And then I was gone.
Yeah, I'm like, where did I lost you? Because like I kept losing people. This
vanished.
My poor husband. Good Lord. Okay, so I'm usually pretty okay with minor celebrities or celebrities. I mean, I've interviewed people, and comes with the territory of working in radio. You know, you do TV interviews, you do radio interviews with wrestlers, whatever, singers. No, I flat out lost my shit because I met Don't Fuck Me Gil. and for anybody that doesn't know, Critical Role. He's a blacksmith, and he made the cast metal dice. And so whenever you hear them go, "Don't fuck me, Gil," they're rolling the dice he made. And so he's walking by, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, are you Don't Fuck Me, Gil?" And he's like, "Yeah," because he was there because he made the Diablo sign. He made the big metal Diablo sign, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's fucking Gil! Oh my god! Oh my god!" Lost it. Absolutely no cool whatsoever. And I was like, "Oh, please, God, let me have a picture with you."
You were a dork. You were a dork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lost it. I mean, seriously. Singers, no problem. Gil,
Dork,
fucking
dork.
gone. So, yeah.
You might have made his night. I mean, like, because your reaction, I think he'll remember that.
Yeah, and he was just like, I feel so bad because he was saying that he was geeking out to everybody this weekend about what, like, all the stuff that he did. And I was like, dude, I saw it. I loved it. I saw your post about it. And I saw that you were here yesterday and did not think you were still going to be hanging around today. So that's awesome. I'm glad I ran into you. I liked his work. He's just a fun person to follow, and blew my mind that kind of the stars aligned and that happened. And so, yeah. And so you got to see me outside. I was like, holy shit, I just met Gil. Oh my God. You're like, who the hell is Gil? I'm like,
Oh,
I'm a nerd.
I had that experience. I think I contained it myself, but Tosh and Talif were going to dinner, and they invited me out to dinner with Ghost Gone Wild. So EJ and Raven. So we're at this table, and Joe Hogan was there. Then all of a sudden, Matt Rossi of Blizzard Watch comes inside the dinner.
Awesome.
I'm sitting next to Matt Rossi. I'm like, wow. I mean, just like his passion.
Yeah.
Totally.
Jill, unfortunately, I think the hotel you're staying at, you attracted some unwelcome guests.
I did. Let's talk for a moment about conveniently located right next to the convention center. It looks like a really good deal until you find out that the deal comes with bed bugs.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Yikes.
Disgusting little bastards. Oh, my God. Found out right before I was leaving. So I had to spend that entire day on the airplane feeling itchy and knowing that. So, yeah, when you go on an airplane, bear that in mind. So I'm sitting there knowing. So I got home and it's 40 degrees outside. So I take off my shoes, go in the house, open the garage door, go back in the garage, close the garage door, and then I was stomping around stark naked in 40-degree weather, stuffing all of my clothes, all of my luggage that I brought with me into garbage bags. It was awful. The cases themselves in my laptop case, I threw straight into the trash because they were out on the floor and everything. So I said, well, and so I called. I'd taken photographs and I mentioned it before I left. And I called them back and said, hey, you have bed bugs. You get used to this. I'm going to be saying this a lot. And they said, well, do you have pictures? Yes, I sent you the pictures. Well, we're going to check to see if it has bed bugs. And shockingly enough, they called me back and said they didn't have bed bugs, but I've got pictures of, the bites I've got from the bed bugs that they have.
Right.
And they said they're not replacing my luggage and they're not replacing my laptop case. And pretty much I can run up a rope. So I'm going to say that it has bed bugs as many times as I possibly can. And I'm putting it all over Twitter. And if you come to BlizzCon, if you go to Disneyland, do not stay at because they have bed bugs. Yes. Okay, now I'm done. I feel better now.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
It's not the way I wanted to end my BlizzCon experience.
No.
No good.
I thought getting my purse stolen last year was bad.
Oh.
Life always finds a way to make it better.
I guess.
Had to save something for the sequel.
Oh.
I'm like, I wore a fanny pack this year. You're not getting me bad things. Oh, we'll have some bed bugs. Damn it.
Oh.
Always gotta one up ourselves, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't think my story quite tops that because I still made it. I was going to get to there early. And Ali. Okay. So Ali, before we get to my story, Brandon in chat wants you to mention a story which has a cool ending.
So funny story. Frazley, as we talked about, we went to the Viking truck, Frazley, my husband and I. And then we went and got our, after a long chaotic line, got our delicious food from the Viking truck and sat on the grassy knoll next to the fountain.
Oh, not the grassy knoll.
Yes, the grassy knoll.
You went and sat on Hogger? Sorry, that's terrible.
We had a very pleasant conversation. I spilled chili on my peens. Woo! I spilled chili on my jeans. There was not that much wrong in this, I swear.
What kind of grassy are we talking about?
Not that
California grass.
I'm from Colorado. That doesn't faze me. So I spilled chili on my jeans, but I was like, whatever, not a big deal. Life happens. And we're just talking. We're having a great time with Frazley. We're just so happy we get a chance to really just sit down and talk with him. And then we decide we're going to head to the North Hall and go check out the store and everything, right?
Okay.
We're walking down. I'm like, we were talking about what was next on the schedule. So I go to get on my phone, and my phone is usually in my back pocket. And I'm like, my butt feels naked. Where is my phone? I realized my phone was gone. And dear Frazley here, with the quickest legs ever, just made like a beeline back for the grassy knoll to go find it.
Aww.
And we were looking around, and as we're looking around, like a fan of mine like found us and introduced themselves, but like, which was awesome, but at the same time, like I was freaked out because I didn't have my phone, and so it was a bag of emotions. And they even helped us look a little bit and couldn't find it. And we went and checked guest services, and I had to, describe my phone, which is easy because somehow, even though like I put my phone case on my phone at the Verizon store, my dog still found a way to get hair in there. So I had to describe my phone. And I was able to get it back. Some kind soul turned it in like right away.
Oh, good.
And I am just so like, it's a new phone. We just got it over the summer, and it has all my pictures on it. And I was brokenhearted. And so whoever turned in a Samsung phone with it was a blue phone with a clear case with like a little bit of silver glitter in there and dog hair, you're my hero. Thank you for showing me that humanity is
Yay.
good.
Huzzah!
That's why I ran over fast. I was like, I did not want
He
him to take
booked it. I was not expecting that, but Frazley, like, he just like without like saying a word, like we like turned around and head back there, and he was already like way down there.
No, I tried to do it safely.
Rescue.
Someone's in trouble.
I've learned how to not run into people, thankfully.
You were like you were super dodgy.
You were the
Frazley's
gnome train.
all
Been
dodgy
over.
gnomes.
Amazing.
Weaving through everything.
And what's funny, Ellie, is both times that we met up, the first night we're trying to meet up on the second floor of the Hilton.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm here, and you're looking around, like, and I realized how sneakily I came up on you.
You were again really tall and really sneaky. I turned around, he was just like right there. I'm like, whoa, hi Frazley. As I'm looking up at
I was
him.
not trying to, but I was just like, that's Ellie, and I was trying to get the courage to say hi as soon as you realized who it was. I was just like,
I couldn't help it every time being next to him, just going like, "Oh my god, he's all
seriously."
Right
Like I knew he was tall, but holy crap!
I know
he is
it's like a whole foot
tall.
taller than I expected. You mean I'm short, but God, I felt like really short.
My, you're a tall one.
Hi, you're a tall one.
He really is.
one final story, so it's that way of like BlizzCon mishaps. So and this one has a pun. So I've been holding this.
Okay, my drink's ready. Go.
So my first flight, I get to the airport because I'm flying by myself. I get there and it's all nice. I'm like, okay, I'm all checked in, everything. The flight, I'm like, open my phone, like, oh, delayed. Okay, it's just a delay by 5 minutes, delayed by 10 minutes, delayed by 20 minutes, delayed by an hour. So I go up to the desk today. Hey, I got to make a connection in Burbank. And by the way, tip, I was told to fly into Burbank. No. That was the worst experience ever. I fly in there and I'm telling people where I'm going. Everybody's like, what an idiot. You're going to Anaheim from Burbank? You should have flown into John Wayne. I'm like,
John Wayne's the best.
It's a little more expensive, but it's worth it.
It's named after John Wayne. How cool is that?
Yeah. So don't do Burbank at all.
So worth it. Yeah.
And plus, I won't name them, but my shuttle driver was not happy with me. The fact that he said, oh, you got to go to Anaheim. I messaged Scruffy. I said, I wanted to crawl into a hole and die on that whole trip. I just felt so bad.
Hey, you're paying him. He can shut his face.
That's how Scruffy mom mode was activated and wanted to just kind of go run after him and be like, what are you doing to my precious little gnome boy?
Oh.
And then I'd see how tall he was like, oh crap, he didn't need me.
But, oh, I almost forgot the pun.
Oh, it's pwn.
So
Oh, I thought I was
Phone
getting
pun.
away with it.
no, and
You had
it's weird.
to-
Did I make you face palm in real life?
I don't think so.
Ah, phooey.
Not that I remember. Mr.
That was
Ali in
cool.
chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember physically facepalming in your presence.
And your first shuttle driver almost killed. Oh yeah, you could.
Yeah, so so our first shuttle driver, we were taking off from John Wayne, which really is an amazing airport, and he was too busy looking at his tablet to notice that the car in front of him had stopped. And so I'm actually in the front seat with him, and I make a noise and like grab on. He's like, he looks up, he's like, oh, and like slammed on his brakes. Whew, it was a little scary.
Oh my
A little
god.
scary.
Oh,
He did not get the best review from me. I wasn't too mean, but I was about that.
I still have not given us a filled out my survey for mine. I probably should, but
Our second one was phenomenal. He got a really good review.
mine was the same one both ways. But yeah, back to the pun before I forget.
No.
So
Down my tea so I don't spit it everywhere.
So the plane initially got delayed in St. Louis because of a lavatory latch. So it was a pretty crappy way to start the whole experience.
Oh.
And with that, my drink is done.
I had to lock in the pun. I mean,
Did you say you had to
No, you
lock
didn't,
in the
Frazley.
pun? What?
Move
I
on.
didn't just want to fly over it. I wanted to.
You're done. You're done, son. We went and watched one of the Blizzard guys play at Poor Company in Fullerton, and
I
that
would
was
have
Was it
loved
Lance?
to have gone seen that.
I am
Oh,
so
yeah.
sorry I didn't even
James
think about
Richard?
that. Yeah, James, the English guy.
Oh,
I wanted
mean
to see
Lance
that.
of James, yeah.
What was funny about that night, though, is apparently everybody that was there is in some way or another in the guild that I'm in, and I didn't really know that.
Wow.
That's
So,
awesome.
like, I unintentionally met a bunch of guild members that I had
That's
no
so
idea were part of
cool.
the guild. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen James play because I've seen it on Twitter and everything, like a little
Yeah.
video here and there, and we got to meet him briefly, Frazley.
Yes.
But that night I already had plans to go have dinner with some friends and stuff, so we missed out on that. But I was bummed at those two plans.
He's really good, and I was really embarrassed because the beer there was a lot stronger than I anticipated, and I was
Woohoo!
done.
Feeling good.
Yeah, like you're talking about meeting Perfect Nomad, and I was like partially blitzed. It's like, dude, you're the guy that was in medieval times, weren't you? And he's like, yeah, I'm Perfect Nomad. I'm like, I don't really know who that is, but okay. Know him now.
Nomad's great. I love
Yes,
him.
he's very cool. So apparently we all know the same people.
Yeah.
35,000 people there, and we all know each other.
Apparently, we just don't really know it. So
That's one thing I wish I had this year was I know it's controversial, but I wish I had facial recognition glasses so I could at least be like,
Like
be
the
like, okay,
Terminator.
yeah, because
oh no.
because like I realized there are people there that I come back to ask people, who's that person? Who's that person? And like so thankfully I had people that were like telling me, oh, it's that person over there, that person over there, because like faces didn't recall the way.
I'm
Yeah.
out of Kleenexes, guys. I have con card and I'm out of Kleenexes.
No,
No,
This is
Get
a very
toilet
sad
paper.
moment.
it's so good. I did very, very, very two people very briefly. One of them was Patty Matson.
Ooh.
It was during the deep dive, and it was, I think it was just Brandon Starman from Warcast and I. Brandon was on my left, and Starman was on my right. And I actually saw her like standing over on the side, just standing there, kind of watching the deep dive. I thought about going over and saying hi, because like I pointed her out, and I was totally chickening out. And Starman was like, "Just go do it." And I would have had to make him get up, and I kind of hesitated. I was super awkward. He's like, "Just do it." And he gave me a minute to think about it. And so I looked at him, and I'm like, he's like, "Are you gonna do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so he got up, and I like very awkwardly, like arms straight, like trotted over to her, like, "I'm so sorry. I love you, and I love what you do. Can I please get a picture really quick?" And she's like, "Of course." And she was super nice, and just took a quick picture. I was like, "Thank you. I love you." And then I think I like put my hand on her shoulder for a brief second, and then like awkwardly trotted back to my seat. Super awkward. It was, but I got the picture, and she was really,
Yay!
really nice about it.
BlizzCon, it's where you get like picture bingo. Oh, okay. Like, I got
Seriously,
that one, and that one.
basically, the only one I missed was Terran and Thist, actually.
This grabbed me in the bathroom. Like
Did
right
she
before I
now?
came and saw
Whoa.
you.
Okay,
Like-
Scruffy, it's not that kind of show.
Well, I know. I mean, if
So-
But tell
it's
us later.
okay. So like this.
yes, tell us later.
Kristen Bell and I have been on a couple podcasts together, but I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever really met face to face. And I mean, and they're so much more well known than I am. So it was extremely shocking when they're like, "Oh my God, Scruffy, come here!" And I'm like, "Oh,
That's awesome.
you've noticed me, senpai. Oh my God." So like I was coming out of the bathroom, but this is like Scruffy. I'm like, "What the fudge?"
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm like, "Holy
so cool.
shoot, she knows me." And so yeah, we like awkwardly gave each other a hug in the bathroom, and I was coming out, and I'm like, "Oh wait a minute, look, I think that's Allie." Allie. So, you know.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I Saturday night? Was that Saturday night? Yes, it would be Saturday night. Saturday night, well, a lot of things happen Saturday night, but Saturday night, I met up with some of it we won't talk about.
It's just a Saturday night.
Yes. So I met up with Jared and Shoe Boots from Merely Setback. It was at the Marriott, and we actually found Christy Golden there. The three of us wanted to get a picture with her because we're all, lore nerds. We have lore podcasts, and we all just kind of awkwardly sat there. And finally, I think it was Shoe Boots who was like, one of us has to be aggressive. So I just kind of walked forward. Because I met her once briefly
See,
at Denver
that's why
Comic-Con.
you got to hang out with me.
And I was like,
Be
okay,
aggressive.
at least
Be
I've met her once
aggressive.
at Denver Comic-Con, so maybe I could just have the guts. So I went like in front of them and just stood there awkwardly until she was looking at her phone. And I went to interrupt her, and someone else that was there was like, "Are you waiting for Christy?" I'm like, "Yes, but I don't want to interrupt her." And I think she heard me because she looked up and was like, "Hi," and so I super awkwardly introduced us, and we got a picture of like the four of us together, and then for just a few minutes got a chance to talk with her a bit, and it was such a really cool moment.
That's nice.
Yeah.
No, I was surprised how many people were surprised to see me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, given everything you've been through lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
It
but
has indeed.
I'm
And
just-
now bed bugs from the
and now
Alpine.
yeah,
It
just
just keeps on going.
bed bugs from the. So yeah, it's like what else? And God's over there with his dartboard of bad things to happen, and like all the dots were filled, and he just like randomly threw one, and way down in the corner, like at the one space, the bed bugs.
Bed
He's like,
bugs.
yes,
Aw.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh boy.
I was so glad to see you after, especially what happened. It was so cool to, and like I won't forget that hug, and I won't forget the. I was telling people that one of my best friends was there, and I was saying it was so cool to see Jill after all that you've been through. You were at BlizzCon, and be like, yeah.
I was proud of myself, but I genuinely was shocked at how many people actually were interested and cared about my progress. That was surprising to me. And again, it goes back to the whole thing about community.
Yeah.
I mean, I put up a GoFundMe, and genuinely famous people are donating cash to me, and it's like, holy crap! What do I do? I'm just sitting there staring at the computer screen, going, now what? What do I do? So,
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the tweets that came out during that time, but like there were a lot of people that like were asking updates, and I was talking to different people about like what were the updates. So there were a lot of people that were caring about you.
I did. I went back not too long ago, in fact, only a couple of weeks ago. I said, you know what? I'm going to go look, because really that's a big blank spot, obviously, in my life.
No, really?
Yeah, really. Being in a coma kind
Just
of
a
takes
little
you out of
bit.
the loop.
Yeah.
So,
You mean you didn't read all those messages while you were in coma? What?
I didn't know.
How dare you not keep up with me?
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so rude. I didn't answer anybody's messages, and like I ignored everybody
But
just
my
because
fan mail.
I had to be a drama queen and be in a coma.
But where am I going to get my Ashbringer news? What the hell?
Who's going to tell you that the Scarlet Crusade's right?
Hi, Tor.
People might have forgotten. But yeah, it was all very interesting to me. And there was one point when I almost woke up. It's funny because I'd been out almost a week at that point. And apparently my brother stopped by and he was telling me, come on, you got to get up. You're going to miss Game of Thrones. And I heard him. And I thought to myself, oh shit, no, get up. And then another part of my brain said, I'm gonna get up in just a minute. Just like when you don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
5 more minutes. It's fine. 5 more minutes.
Right. It was five more minutes. I was really, really, really gonna get up in a minute. But I just couldn't. I couldn't pull out of the nosedive at that point. I needed a couple more days. But it's interesting because I keep meaning to type it up before I forget.
You should. You really should.
Because maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe something I type will, in 50 years, hook up to something that somebody finds and say, "Oh, look! Oh my God, that's right!" Because somebody that we don't know 50 years ago said this when she was in a coma. So I really do need to get on that. It's just such a strange thing to talk about. There's one point that's so weird it kind of creeps even me out. So I try not to think about it. But when I get around to typing it, I'll make sure I put that part in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
And by the way, I got robbed. They should have picked my song for the contest. Just saying.
Tell wants to know what show you did wake up for.
I woke up when, in one of my more lucid moments, I heard somebody say, "If this doesn't wake her up, nothing will."
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, "Oh shit, I better wake up this time." The alarm clock's going off now. Anyway, so I put all of my effort into getting up, and whatever they gave me in the IV, between me being vaguely aware and them giving that to me on a drip, I was able to pull out of it.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's not the sort of thing you want to hear.
No.
No.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here too. Sometimes I just stop and I think I was washing the dishes, and I'm like, here I am standing washing the dishes. Huh. Yeah, who'd thought that? Who'd have put money on that back in May? And suddenly washing the dishes didn't seem like such a terrible thing. It was still pretty bad, but
it's gotta get done.
I ran into two friends that I found out that if things don't improve health wise, this may have been the last BlizzCon I saw about it. And it was one of those you realize in life how short life is. And that's one thing that I never know if I'll meet anybody that I saw at BlizzCon again, but that one moment I saw as many people as I could.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to open yourself up and go. That's why I feel so bad for people who like, "Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to be around crowds." Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
Regular crowds, but how about a crowd of people who are just like you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the outlier there.
Fraz and I were talking about that before this all started, that it's like I have a huge issue with crowds, and I usually try to tough it out, but I have issues with people in my personal space, and I get really freaked out when everybody's just so close, and which is probably like it's stupid. And so I was terrified to go last year. I was like, what happens if I'm going to have freak out with all these people around? And you don't feel like that at BlizzCon because everybody is very much the same as you. You just know that everywhere you look, that these are people that are having the same geek out moments that you are. And, sometimes it gets a little crazy. When there's 35 to 40,000 people in one place, it doesn't feel like that, but some of those lines definitely make you feel like that. But did not have any freak out moments, which is amazing. So, knock on wood. But 2 years and it hasn't freaked me out like that. So
the weirdest part for me was the opening ceremony crowd. You're in there, and then we got locked out of the Mystic stage because
it's so different from watching it online, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I want to transition into just our thoughts real quick on the news, because I don't want to end this podcast without us at least saying what we're excited for. But
oh wait, we were supposed to get excited about stuff at BlizzCon? What?
Yeah.
What? I thought we were just supposed to be excited about meeting the really, really tall gnome. Because that's super exciting.
That is really exciting.
Well, that too.
Aww.
Okay. All right.
I was excited to meet all of you. I mean, and meeting.
Are
Jeff
you sure?
Meeting absolutely, and Brandon and stuff like that. I mean, just it was cool. I gotta say, it was cool hearing Mr. Scruffy talking in the Alex Pones voice in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that voice actor's reenactment?
Oh my god.
Chills, legit chills, water in my eyes. It was just,
I was
so
front
good.
row center for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got some good out of my gimpy ruined feet, baby.
It was so good.
Very good.
I never realized how much effort they put into connecting with each other before recording the voice lines and everything.
Yeah.
I think it does show.
Go back and think about it now. It makes sense and it comes through.
Yeah.
But I never knew the effort they put into it. And I was just blown away. Plus, the reenactment itself was just, wow.
Yeah, I was having a geek out moment in the back because,
Oh my gosh.
like the week before, I was at a voiceover conference, and
Right, yeah.
and when they were talking about doing the back and forth about, okay, put it in your own words and put the scene in your own words, and I just sat through a session for radio copy. It was called like, "What are you trying to get me to say?" But let's face it, sometimes scripts are really, really dumb for 30 seconds and 60 seconds because they really are, and she was using that technique. She's like, okay, this is basically saying, he's a good guy because he went to Jared. So he doesn't suck because he bought me a ring here. She's like, so this line is supposed to be, he's a really good guy. And that's, he went to Jared. That was basically interpreting the entire script. And then to see that put to cinematics, that same principle is like, oh,
Yeah.
I just went through this. This is awesome. So it's cool to see that applied in different places. So I had like a massive geek out moment. Just kind of
Neat.
Yeah.
I did too. Yeah.
That's one of the panels that I missed because I went over to that one. I went to breakfast with Sal, Theodata, Ringmaster Kevin. So I was
That's
Fraz,
cool too.
here is your first BlizzCon lesson. Don't stay at they have bed bugs. And the
Like your
second one,
lesson.
your second lesson is never miss the voiceover panels.
but I mean I didn't want to miss.
Never
Unless
miss
there,
the
there
voice.
is an addendum to that, unless you cannot get in to get a seat. Okay.
And then
Okay.
at least watch it on a screen.
right.
Because I was going on the method of people over panels because that was something that Silverbolt had coined. Because I'd heard people talk about you make people the priority, and I get invited to breakfast on Saturday morning. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it because I don't know how often I will have breakfast with these.
You don't know how often you're going to have the opportunity to see cinematics reenacted live either.
that is.
It's
Oh,
true, but on the bright side, we do have the virtual ticket on top
That's
of it.
true.
But it does kind of suck because we did spend over like $250 for tickets, and then if you
Yeah.
don't actually go to any panels or do anything, you really just kind of threw the money out the window. But that is a really good philosophy of people over panels. You spend some
I
time.
try
with
to mix
people.
both, but I'm not going to miss a panel that I like.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
this is
mean-
the first time I was actually able to get a seat at it. Last year, there was with my back problems last year, there was no way I was going to stand at the back of the Dark Moon
Yeah.
Fair and try to listen. And then I ended up running over there anyways when Laura started singing.
I
so-
was all the way in the back when I missed about half of it because the panel I was at, and I couldn't find it. Like I said, I couldn't find anybody last year. So I made my way through the crowd, and I got there about halfway through. There were no seats. I was standing in back, and you can actually hear me on the video of it yelling all the way from the back, way on the main floor of the Dark Moon Fair above everybody else. When the fellow who does, that Horde guy, the new leader dude for the Zandalari. Not
the guy who was
king.
playing Rokon.
Yeah, Rokon, that's the one. And he said he used to play a human paladin. You can actually hear me from the back of the room go, yeah! Which
Well, I think
just
it's by
proves
the-
how big of a mouth I've got.
Yeah, the fact that I'm glad they put it on the Mythic stage. They needed
Yeah.
it there because it's
Yep.
Yeah.
so
So
popular. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, I remember it was one tiny little one, just like in the middle. It was almost right by a signing table.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show floor. It's grown a lot since then.
So much.
Yeah,
And-
Sarikson and I last year when we got there, it was the crowd's like basically halfway into the Dark Moon Fair. I'm like, I can't do this. There's no way I could stand up for that entire time. So we went over to the next stage, and then about halfway through it, I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, oh, they're playing Daughter of the Sea. I'm like, oh no, that's live. That's live. We gotta go. And we just booked it over there. He's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
and there are moments that you don't want to miss. Like one of my favorite was I went with Ali over to the What's Next panel, and we're sitting next, and Ali's like, we're going through the different covenants, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be Kael'thas, it's gonna be Kael'thas, and we're so excited when they announced it, and then like people were cheering about the Teldrassil tree being burned, and Ali, you started booing, I started booing, and we started a whole wave of people booing about the Teldrassil being burned, and then when they mentioned the 8 dungeons, I remember you going, job security. I was like, yes.
Because it is. It's my job security.
It's very true.
That was a moment where I caught a panel, but with friends. If I had been by myself, don't think I would have gone.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Brandon and I went into it, like, we made the list of panels we absolutely wanted to see.
Yeah.
And then we had, like, a sub list of panels we would like to see. And I don't think we got a chance to see any of those.
No.
But that allowed us to kind of find that balance between the panels we absolutely wanted to see, like the voice actor panel, and then, you know, virtual take for everything else. Like, I'm bummed we missed the Overwatch voice actors panel.
Yeah, I couldn't get to that one either.
But I forget what we went and did instead.
Well, you already saw half of it at the first one, because
Buttons! Buttons!
Buttons! Oh, so awesome. He is
no
so
more
cool.
buttons!
Oh my gosh.
Buttons!
So I figured we've been podcasting for quite a while, and we talk about our experience at BlizzCon, which is, I mean, what I wanted.
We still need to talk about other stuff.
Yeah. So I would say I'm going to cut out one of the things because we're not a Diablo show. I don't get me wrong. Diablo 4 was amazing.
It looks amazing. It's brutal. And
I will
ugly.
say really quick to that for 2
gory.
seconds. I did go play the demo for it during the musical performance. It is awesome. Like,
yes.
It's slightly less, you know, cartoony than Diablo 3, which gives them that chance to go a little darker, a little more gothic, and just the visual effects and the sounds and everything just makes it feel just so epic and powerful.
Yeah.
And my little demo time with it was awesome, and I can't wait to play it when I actually have a bad day at work and I just really need to vent. Like, that might be my
When
game.
you need to do something extremely bloody and destroy things, like,
So
there
much
you go. Because Diablo 3 was something that I didn't think I was going to get into, and then I really did. So I was very excited for the Diablo 4, and very excited for the Druid class, yo, which was super
Man,
fun.
the crowd went nuts when that dude turned into a bear.
Did.
Oh my god.
Especially my friend who I was there with, who mains a druid. Man, I thought he was going to need, to hit the bathroom. He was
Glad I brought
Change
like
his
3
pants.
pairs of pants, man.
Yeah.
I was excited. And I mean,
he just sort of like,
for,
"Wah!" Like,
well, for not growing up with Diablo, because my husband is the Diablo player. He started with Diablo 2, and you know, I was convinced we were going to get a Diablo 2 remaster announcement, which it's coming. I know it is. It's going to happen. If we're getting Warcraft 3 Reforged, we have to get Diablo 2 reforged or reborn or whatever it is in the demon speak. But yeah, it's just Diablo 3 really kind of hooked me in and getting in. And I know that everybody wanted druids and thought they were going to get druids for Diablo 3, and it never happened. And then seeing that, I was just like, this is me in Worgen form here, like, now. And it was awesome and so freaking hard. Oh my god. I don't know about you guys, but it was super hard, and it's supposed to be, but it was good. It was a good hard.
Diablo is supposed to just be awful, man. It's brutal and ugly and hard and blood and guts and veins in your teeth.
When I was talking to the devs, they're like, so where did you go? I'm like, I went over to the Goat Man cave, apparently. And they're like, oh, how did that go for you? I'm like, it was brutal. I'm glad you gave me like 50 freaking health pots, because I'm here hitting Q, getting like health pots every few moments, and you know, trying to figure out what the combos are, because I'm so used to playing it on my Switch. But yeah, they're like, you hit the like one of the hardest areas. I was like, oh well, that's great, fantastic. The 3 names. If I didn't know the 3 named goats, certainly kind of drove that home. But yeah, it was good though. So
was
good,
it
so
bad?
Good.
Oh, chill.
It was super
Come
bad.
on. Oh, dear
bad.
Lord.
Anyways, okay. So sorry. Just derailed.
No, you're
with
not.
Diablo.
Come on, you had
No, sorry,
It was too
sorry. I
perfectly set up.
totally did the thing, and I do not regret it.
Don't be sheepish, just ramming those puns.
My drink is empty, so if we're going to keep with the puns, I'm going to get more.
Hey, by the way, nice WoW head come before the storm glass. I see you there. I see it.
Mhm.
Nice.
Represent.
That's right.
So Warcraft.
I played the demo as well for Diablo 4, and I like that. I grouped up with people, so that was fun. It was gratifying getting loot every so often and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and then I also did the Diablo Immortal demo because it was one of those they didn't talk about much about it, but I saw it there and
What did you think about it?
I'm glad it was on the floor again this year. That's pretty cool.
I liked it. It felt like Diablo 3 on mobile,
Yeah.
and I think I'm gonna play it. So as long as the monetization does not suck, it's the only thing that.
Yeah. I think it's what a lot of people are nervous about with that one.
If it's good, because like it felt like a Blizzard game, and it
Yeah.
like I would even be fine with a $60 purchase. I know that sounds crazy, $40 or $60 purchase and no in-game purchases.
Yeah, they've got to get on the mobile gaming because,
Yeah.
like it or not, mobile gaming is a thing now, and it's official. It's gaming. It's just as valid as any other platform, and they're crazy if they don't get on it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm surprised we didn't get a mobile announcent this year.
I was too.
I think
might
they were
have been
just-
playing it safe this year.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
They-
last
they
year,
had a-
so,
They were watching the drama and trying to keep the pot from boiling over.
yeah.
There's enough other potential drama that could have happened. So that on their behalf, that does make sense.
I thought it was pretty funny that everybody pretty much ignored them outside. They're like, "Yeah, okay, nice sign. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm going to BlizzCon."
Yeah, I got enough flack from folks at home about like, oh, there's plants there. They're being horrible. Like, I'm not seeing anybody getting booted out for their cosplays for it or their
No.
signs. So, and I was certainly not a plant being ushered towards the front row. And most of my friends on the front row, I'm pretty sure, are not plants. So,
Yeah, like I said, it's like, and besides, I wanted, after the year I've had, I wanted to see some idiot get in my face with a sign and tell me I couldn't go by the stage.
I would have taken them out.
right.
We wouldn't have needed security to escort them off the premises. We needed an
No.
ambulance.
You would have been like Sylvanas with the Helm of Domination.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Ah!
I have to say that moment where she's got the helmet in her hands and she pauses in front of her face. I'm sitting there thinking, no. She's not going to put it on. That's too predictable. Blizzard's not going to do that. No. Like, it makes no sense. She can't put it on.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
then
know
she
what
rips
she
it
was
instead.
doing. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, like I
right.
didn't expect her to rip it. Like I was so worried that she was gonna put it on, and instead she like tore it apart, and I just like my jaw dropped and I screamed and it was amazing, and just they did that so well
With the
that
sky
they made
blowing
so
out?
many of us
That was
thinking
amazing.
that she was gonna
Yeah.
actually put it on, and the whole sky and everything, and it's just I love that cinematic. It was so good, so good.
The audience reaction to that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sitting there thinking,
I
I'm
think
watching
everyone
this,
thought she was gonna put it on.
Right.
Yeah.
and I got to meet the person who wrote that, and I just told him he did an
Ooh.
amazing job. Yeah, I didn't talk with him too long because I was in line, but it was just they were taking pride in what they did, and it was. But yeah, like the one thing on the cinematic I kept thinking was, how are the ears going to work under the helmet? So that was my thinking.
Well, there'll be a glitch and then they'll pop out like they do with all the other ones.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It just won't render properly.
So Shadowlands is happening, and it's going to be an amazing expansion. A lot of great systems underneath, and you're going to hear about that maybe here, but you'll hear about it on a ton of different podcasts and YouTube. They'll, I think even Telius and Eventel, I think they did a weekly reset. Oh, and by the way, I heard that they did an awesome job at the Q&A. I've not watched all of the Q&A.
They
but
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did. I thought Taliesin talked a little too much.
Just a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. But it was a
It
little too
wasn't.
much.
It was a little like okay,
love
you
it.
can stop now.
There's other people that want to ask questions, like,
Yeah.
Yes.
but
know-
overall, like, it was still pretty good.
No, I wasn't offensive, but it was dancing right on that edge of maybe you better stop. And he seemed to feel it too because he did.
I calm before the storm. The people that were behind me in line to meet them, they were just like, Taliesin, stop talking. Stop talking. You're having a conversation
Is that
with
the real
everybody.
reason it
Stop
took 4 hours?
I think so. But
That's
yeah.
the reason it took me 8 hours to get Tom Baker's autograph back in the day.
Ah!
He's over there kissing babies and posing for pictures and
The talking is what I tried to not do when I was on the pod for the con. I was trying to not over talk because the panelists were what it was for. Sniper Fog says that the helmet of domination is more friendly than any other helmet. It has openings on the side.
it's true.
Okay.
It does. It does have some space there.
So it was even built for Sylvanas to have the ears come out.
Or to have her rip it, you know,
Going
it's
on.
fine.
Yeah, it had nice finger holes for it to like rip it open too.
And I have to say, it feels with Shadowlands like they've really listened to a lot of community feedback. And
Yeah.
they're making a lot of gameplay changes and leveling changes that we've wanted. And some we didn't know we wanted. Like, it's just, I'm really excited for Shadowlands.
I'm glad they finally added racial customization
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's a long time coming. That should have been done at the onset, but I'm glad they finally got around to it. And it looks like they're doing a pretty nice job with it. Now, if they could only tackle handedness. I'm sure that out there are going to be a bunch of computer modelers who are going to absolutely have kittens when I say this. But how hard can it be to just flip the animations, really, and make
Okay,
it an
yes.
option?
Because you want the character to feel like you.
Right. My brother was left-handed, and the first thing he says, what do you mean I can't be left-handed? Yeah, sorry. Which I don't know what to tell you on that one. And I want you to know I was addressing the important political problems of the day with my cheer station sign. If you saw somebody walking around with a sign with a cartoon gal on it and a white man's chapeau and the caption, hair under hats, that was me.
I did not see that.
I've got a picture of it. I shall have to post it online.
Yes, please do. I want to see
Yes.
it.
So
Yeah.
the fellow I was there with, he's like, I just don't see what the fuss is about that. I said, you are not a woman, my friend. And
Nice
like
there.
everybody that walked by and said something about it was a woman. It was, one guy said, I stand with you, sister. All right. And they're like, my God, yes, yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
It drives me nuts that if every other race it's gonna hide the hair, but on a Worgen we have it sticking out everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
And I'm not saying they have to have every exact hairstyle. What they need to do is, because every helmet, there's a model for every race, both genders. I can see where it would be a lot of work, but how hard would it be to attach different colored ponytails to each helmet? So there is an
Yeah.
indication of hair underneath, not just like the bald cap, and it just looks so stupid. Oh my God. It just drives me nuts. And every year they're like, well, that would be a lot of work. Yes, it would. So maybe you better get started before you add more damn hats. God, it's been 15 years. Hair under hats, hair under hats, hair under hats.
Hair under hats.
And has bed bugs. Okay, I'm done now.
Well, I think with that, I think we covered a lot of the big stories from BlizzCon. I mean, without deep diving into every little feature of it.
I think so. Oh, Overwatch 2 looks pretty good. I don't like
I'm
the new
excited.
models though. I don't like
I'm
the art
okay with them.
changes.
I didn't even notice them.
Yeah, they're
Not until they started pointing it out later. I was like, oh, I guess they did.
Yeah, I didn't notice the changes either.
I'm okay with them.
It looks like when you watch an anime, and there are like two animation houses. There's the one that they save for the really special episodes, the better one. And then like there's a lower animation house where they put the everyday episodes and you can actually tell the difference. It looks like Overwatch 2 was
Yeah.
made by the second anime house. So
I can see that.
everything's just a little bit chunkier, a little bit clunkier. I mean, I really hate it.
Hey,
Sorry,
like
Blizzard.
Me.
I love
I'm getting chunkier and clunkier as I get older.
it. Tell me about it.
So thank you all for coming to FrazlCast tonight.
No, I don't. I want to keep talking.
Okay.
We're taking over your show. I want more BlizzCon. I want more FrazlCast. All right, I guess
Before
I'll let you
BlizzCon
go.
next year.
Yes.
All right.
But until we hug again, where can we find you all on the internet? We will start with Jill.
As a matter of fact, I am sanding a customer's order right now. I have opened an Etsy shop since last time we were on. It's Etsy. My username is Retnoob, RETNOOB, and you can find me there. You can find me at Spreadshirt, Gallery, Redbubble, Shapeways, anywhere they're selling stuff. I've got a store. You can find me on Twitter at RetPallyJil, and I will be happy to tell you all about it.
And about
Which has bed bugs, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. And they owe me some luggage in Scarlet Crusade Red because I had a poll. Exactly one person made the difference. Your vote matters, people.
Yes, absolutely. And Scruffy,
yes.
where can we find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter as the Scruffy Druid. You can find my podcast Loot Optional at Loot Optional. You can get it at all places where podcasts can be downloaded. I'm around.
Oh, but there is one thing that I think you started or you started promoting since you last on, you now have a voice artist company.
I've had a voiceover company for like years and years and years. I just haven't really promoted it. Yes, Viral
Cool.
Voice Arts is my company. So
Nice.
there are fun little commercials about it and loot optional because that's my
They are pretty
hopeless-
fun, I will say.
my hopeless, shameless plug. But yeah, we do just about everything.
I wish you the best of luck with that. You gotta work on it. There's a lot of talented people out here.
You need a voice that does not, well, that doesn't sound like this because I sound better when I don't have con cred, but yeah. Viral Voice Arts, that's your place to go. Hooray!
Would you like to hear my sultry voice?
Ooh.
This is what I use when customers get angry with me. Like some angry guy calls up about his carpet. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. How can I help you? And they're like, I'm fine.
Magic carpet ride. Oh yeah, baby. So yeah. Loot Optional is my wonderful geeky podcast, and you'll probably hear a lot more Blizzard talk on it. Hopefully
Sweet.
this week when I'm feeling a little bit better. So
Yes, get well soon.
hooray! Thank you.
Yes. I always wonder for like voice artists and stuff like that, how conventions must kill their business just for a little bit because of the con cred.
I'm so disappointed because last year I did so good. It was so good, and I didn't have any problems with it. I think I probably got sick after WovoCon last year because WovoCon was after BlizzCon, and this year WovoCon was before.
Ah,
Are you gonna talk on the microphone, buddy? Because you look like it. This is Sirius. Sirius likes to be in the
New
way.
guest host.
and he's not
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Jill, come on. Thought you were better than that.
I'm on fire.
You guys are awful, and I love you all.
Just don't be on fire like
Oh, you
like
know.
Teldrassil.
Oh,
This place is lit like Teldrassil.
oh God.
And Ali,
Ah! Ah!
where can we find you, Ali, when you're not face bombing and
face
drinking
bombing
rum?
Jill, apparently. I did not expect that tonight. So you can find me on Twitter at Ali_K. You can find my show Dungeon Fables at Dungeon Fables or DungeonFables.com or wherever you download your podcasts. And you can also hear me every week on All Things Azeroth. And you can also get that wherever you download your podcast.
I feel like a loser. I don't have a podcast. I don't know what I'd talk about. I'll just come
We
here and
got
bother
the cool
crap.
Etsy store. We don't have that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I guess I could talk about how bed bugs.
Is there
This
there
is
an inn
RetPallyJil's in review,
Anaheim
and it's
that has
just going to be
bed
nothing
bugs,
but
Jill slags, which has bed bugs for an hour.
I think with that, I'm going to head back to Iron Forge before I get any bed bugs.
Woo woo! Itchy, 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 itchy.
Oh.
beware of Alex Pones in the deep run tram.
Damn Silithid.
So,
No, give me that back.
Activating customized Orphan Safe transporter.
Well, I am back in my home of Iron Forge until we one day reclaim Nomergon.
I'm a gnome.
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome, let's do that. So I'm so excited to announce that Ali is on the next 2 episodes of TavernCast Adventures. So TavernCast Adventures 8, Dead Men Dig No Mines. Part 1 is now out, and then Wednesday, Part 2 will be out. So this was awesome to see. One, TavernCast has an awesome tech setup. I'm so jealous. And it was so cool to see one of my friends being on there. So definitely check it out. And at BlizzCon, I'm sad that it's over, but we got some cool news. So you know Dolly and Dot?
Dolly and Dot are my best friends. They pull my wagon through dunes of sand.
Well, we are now getting Dottie the baby alpaca charity bet. So the proceeds will go to both Make-A-Wish Foundation and We.org. So We.org does things like 1 million people have gained access to clean water and sanitation. 1,800 women in Kenya and Ecuador employed as Me to We Are Artisans. And 27.6 million domestic hours of volunteer service logged by We Schools students in North America. So this will be coming out in December, and I'm excited. I mean, what's it? Is it alpaca pet? Oh, it looks so cute. And then Wowhead says that Sadasim has replicated Suramar in The Sims 4.
An illusion? What are you hiding?
Well, there's been another episode of FrazlCast. So I need to update that on 131. I know that Blizzard increased the prize pool of esports with what the community raised. This was added before I left for BlizzCon, and I wanted to have the show ready for the feed. As I was flying, I kept finding reports that they actually pulled all of their contributions and players paid the whole prize pool. So I don't agree with this, and there was a lot of in-depth coverage on it, so I wasn't trying to look the other way. I added it to 131 as that was an addition, not replacing what Blizzard is paying out. So there's an article in the show notes by Massive LP that goes over some of the reactions and different things, but I wanted to add that as an addendum to 131. But with that aside, I want to give a shout out to all of you. Thank you, community. You are why I flew out to BlizzCon. If it hadn't been for Tosh Mifune putting my name out, the community's outpouring of support for me to win Christie's ticket, and then Crushinator gifting me the ticket, I'd never have had one of the best times of my life. I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you, Blizzard community. And a shout out to Harlow, who ran into me at BlizzCon, and they gave me the honor of signing their Chronicles Volume 1. Thank you. That meant a lot, and it had me humbled and amazed for so long after. Those who were with me saw how I was beaming with gratitude, so thank you. I didn't expect that, and I'm just like, I have got no words, so thank you, Harlow. And shout out to Strapped, who DM'd me on Twitter about how the show is in their steady rotation every week. So back in February, we talked about how far the show has gone since its beginning. And me, being the eager beaver that I am, I said I can't wait to see what it's like in February 2020. And they said, well, hold on, little gnome. Well, guess what? February 2020 is almost here. And that means that we are getting close to seeing where the show is 3 years in the making. And they also said that they like Sai's ghost story from 131, but they would have burned the house down. I'm with you. Yeah. Wait, do I hear footsteps? We're just going to step along right here. So everyone who sends me kind words throughout the week, it means so much to hear from you. When you like the show, it keeps me going each week. There's a lot of hours that go into the show, but I love it if you are having a good time. One of my motivated abilities is when I'm edifying others. So if you're having a good time, then that brings me so much joy. I try to make mention of everyone who gives me a kind word, but if I forgot to include you in my trail list, know that you still mean so much to me. And as I got back from flying from BlizzCon, Madros invited me onto All Things Azeroth 665, and I joined him and Nick of WoW Talk and Tarn of the God One. We talked for over 2 hours about BlizzCon and our reactions. This was the day after getting home late from BlizzCon. In every episode, I like to thank those who have supported this show financially. Thank you to my Twitch subs out there. Thank you to Brandon / Mr. Ali, Capo, Crunk, Easy Mac, Jendon, Michael, Pete, Hosty, Razarus, Space Budgie, Stone, Helenroyd, Thorn, Wicked Kitten 13, Zorts, and Nihar. Wait, was that not alphabetical? He also goes by Zealot. And thank you to Capo and Nihar and Polly for the bits. If you want to support the show financially, please go to support.gnomepodcast.com. And if you have Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime, you can use your free Twitch Prime subscription on my channel or others, and you get awesome emotes. Plus, it means a lot. And I commissioned a new design by Serenity Knight, so be awesome, as in the honeybee. It's a sweet new style available as a shirt, sticker, and a mug, and it's also a free emote through Better Twitch TV and FrankerFace C. All of your support goes to help supporting this labor of love. Thank you so much. Well, I am Frazley, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. So until next week, be awesome. Yes, Raz, I can still use the be awesome, even if I don't have the Honey Smasher bee mount yet. Come on, I like that pun. Fine. Phooey.
Blizzard once again charged with plumbing the depths of patent infringement. It's the Overly Dramatic News. I'm Hunts the Wind. Dreaming up new zones, dungeons, and raids on a regular basis is an immense challenge for the World of Warcraft team at Blizzard, so it's not surprising that they look far and wide for inspiration. However, sometimes the entities from whom that inspiration is drawn take it not as flattery, but as theft. So once more we dip into the land of lawsuits as word has come that Kohler, maker of all sorts of bathroom fixtures, has sued Blizzard for allegedly violating its patents and copyrights. The charge? That the environments in which the many water bosses, such as Immersius and the Radiance of Ajara, reside, bear close enough resemblance to Kohler toilets to constitute infringement. At first we thought it was just a coincidence, said a Kohler toilet engineer, but then we noticed direct copying of our designs. For example, we shape our bowls specifically so that water drains counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. We saw that exact same shape in the radiance of Ajara Cavern, even though Azeroth does not model planetary rotation, and the Storm Wraith follows no rotational rules at all when deciding where to appear. A Blizzard representative replied that it will vigorously contest the lawsuit, saying, "Creating highly immersive and innovative worlds for our players is our #1 priority at Blizzard, but as makers of intellectual property ourselves, respecting the property of others is priority #2.
Broadcasting across all Azeroth, I'm Hunts the Wind. Check out the archives at overlydramaticnews.com or follow me on Twitter at Hunts the Wind.
Welcome to the Frazley Report, a short broadcast by me, the Awesome Gnome, about the World of Warcraft. So BlizzCon has happened! I was there on the floor, and now some people claim I'm the tallest gnome at Azeroth. Though those claims are false. I'm a gnome after all. Just a 6'6". Yeah, maybe they're right. I ain't tall for a gnome. I'm a tall one. So much goodness was announced at BlizzCon this year. From Diablo 4 with its creepy but very cool cinematic, to Overwatch 2 with its story mode. But this is a World of Warcraft report, and the coolest news is we are all going to die! Wait. Should I be excited about that? So I was wrong about the rise of Gnometrain, but instead, we got an amazing cinematic of Sylvanas ripping apart the Helm of Dominion, much to the shock and gasps and cheers from the audience. I was hearing all these on the WoW stage. During this, I kept thinking, those elf ears are going to clip on the helm. I guess Sylvanas got angry at the clipping too, and decided just to forego equipping and then removing the helm in the transmog tab, and just ripped it apart. This door opened the sky to show a giant machine above us, the Tower of Torghast, which is an ever-changing labyrinth dungeon that scales from 1 to 5 players. Now there won't be a goblin king who sings about being reminded of a babe with the power of voodoo. This is part of the new expansion called the Shadowlands. So there is a whole new land of the Shadowlands with many zones, and then there are Covenant factions you can join to gain abilities in a campaign unique to each. And things in the next expansion are going to go squish, as levels have been reduced from 120 down to 50, and then players will progress up to 60. And they've also promised that finally, the AP grind of Legion and BFA is going away, except they brought up Anima. But apparently, this is not a grindable system like Artifact Power. And get this. There is a new starting zone experience for new players from 1 to 10 with a scaling mini dungeon at the end. After that, you can level in any expansion zones, and alts can start in their normal starting zones, and after level 10 can go to any zones expansion anywhere. And even further, once you complete the Shadowlands story on one character, your alts can go to any zone in the Shadowlands at 50 and even start earning towards your alts in-game progression. So these features may be changed before release, and we may learn new things about them. There are so many new features in the expansion, like the new character customization options, that they will be talked about in our 7-hour Frazley News Hour coverage coming tomorrow. Wait. It's already past midnight. Okay, yeah, coming tonight. So I tried out a demo of the Shadowlands, and I loved it. But unfortunately, I could not take any screenshots of my cute Hero Warrior that I made with my friends Casey and Silverbolt. So pre-orders are already live for the expansion. There's no word yet on physical editions, and there's no word yet on if you get a refund for buying the digital and the physical. All I know is I want all the collectibles. Well, I think with that, I'm going to head off to bed. I'm still kind of jet-lagged from the flight home. When will we get portals in real life? Well, this report will hit the airwaves as I head off to the Emerald Dream. I'm not a druid, but until next time, be awesome.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended. The Gnome Train Intro is by Ali of Dungeon Fables and All Things Azeroth, and the opening music is by Brandon T. Blaylock.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.
Where did you get those ears, Scruffy?
From her mama.
From my mama?
That was a good answer.
Well, she is a mama now.
Mama, you gave me these ears.
No, Kazel, who made Hogger, made me
yay.
these ears.
And the baby looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Very much so.
We had dinner with Frosty and taking pictures of the baby. Oh,
Yes, Phoenix adorable.